Dan Kuntz, wake you up in the morning. Dan Kuntz, wondering why you're snoring. Dan Kuntz, show's fun, not boring. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
You found that, did you, Mac? He did. Happy Friday, everybody. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and no, there's nothing wrong with your television monitor. I am Dan Kuntz. It is Friday. It's the last day of July. Big show for you today. It's Friday. You know, if you're familiar with this program, you know what we do around here. On Fridays, we actually kind of try. Mondays and Tuesdays, we show up. Malcolm and I, we're here. We work. We don't work real hard on Mondays or Tuesdays. Wednesdays, well, they're like Mondays and Tuesdays. But Thursdays, we kind of lean forward a little bit. We kind of try a little harder. And then, of course, on Friday, it's a 5-star show. You see behind me, we still got smoke from the Little Giant fire. We'll talk about that. They have just poured tons of personnel into that area over the last 24 hours or so. This is the big day. No wind again today. Going to be hot, mid-90s. And then this robust, smacking as hard cold front comes barreling in tomorrow. We're talking sustained winds in the afternoon at 30 miles an hour, gusts pushing 50, low humidity. It's a nerve-wracking time for tomorrow, but they're going to do what they can today. We'll talk about the fires. It's going to be hot today. Big cool down over the weekend. A lot of wind. We talked about that. Weather will be our main concern, as you might imagine. We got news. Well, if you like the Dodgers, you're going to love our highlight package from the Mariners down in Los Angeles, California. They're back home tonight. They got the Twins. They lost yesterday. But the Apple Sox won again. Big surprise there. And my guest, my good buddy, broadcasting legend, Dave Herald, 50 years of broadcasting here in the Wenatchee Valley. He's seen it all. He's done it all. He was the very first guest on the very first edition of this program, and we will come full circle with Dave in the back half of the program. It's two guys who can't get enough of each other. Let's do our tour. There is the smoke. It doesn't look as bad as it did yesterday at this time. The biggest problem, because the smoke can't go anywhere for the firefighters, especially those people in the helicopters and the airdrops and the retardants and what have you, is when the smoke doesn't go anywhere, it's not moving in the upper atmosphere because there's no wind. They really can't see what they're doing, and it's not a good idea to drop that stuff when they're just guessing. Hopefully they'll be able to get on that today. But again, just zero wind. There's a closer shot of the smoke plume above the Little Giant fire. Still about 25,000 acres. Again, I'll give you all the details. But they've committed another 250 or so firefighting personnel to that area. It's also some of that in the Little Giant fire is burning in old burn scars. Let's take you up to Hay Canyon. Hello, Kashmir. It's good to see you from high atop Hay Canyon. I got to head out I haven't been out to Kashmir in a while. I suppose I need an excuse, but good morning to Kashmir. And things are a little smoky up north. Hello, Pateros. Hello, Bridgeport, Brewster. Their smoke, of course, is not so much the Little Giant fire, although some of it is contributing to the bad air up there. It's the Kaiser Canyon fire, which is just ginormously huge, 129,000 acres, and that's considerably closer as the crow flies to that area than the Little Giant fire. But there are a lot of fires everywhere, some pretty big, some not so big, and it's still just July. Fire Weather Watch. Does this slide look familiar? It should. We've been doing it for the last couple of days. Fire Weather Watch all day and all night on Saturday. Doesn't really have an expiration date on it. It is a cold front. It is going to make the relative humidity bone dry, and it's going to be windy everywhere, both on the surface, right along where the fires are, and in the upper elevations. So the fires could just really boogie, really take off. Here is your wind forecast. While you look at that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Starting at sunrise tomorrow, when you get up, well, sunrise is about 5:45 now. The wind will be blowing west to east at about 20 miles an hour. By the time noon tomorrow rolls around, from noon to about sunset, from noon to about 8:30 or so, we're talking sustained winds at 30 miles an hour and gusts near 50 miles an hour, especially in the late afternoon and early evening hours. Gradually, the wind will be decreasing throughout the day on Sunday, but it's still going to be breezy. But that is extraordinarily windy conditions, and that's just for the Wenatchee Valley that I was talking about. The winds for tomorrow, 20 miles an hour in the morning, 30 miles an hour sustained in the afternoon. That's all for the Wenatchee Valley. There are places, of course, in our viewing area that are prone to windy conditions regardless of the time of the year. You're going to get it worse. Fire weather watch all day Saturday and Sunday. Hang in there, firefighters. I do not envy the task at hand. We're going to take a break and come back with the news. You're watching Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Sunshine down here, smoke up there, 65 degrees. We're going to be 95 or so today for the afternoon high. And as you all know by now, we haven't been keeping it a secret. It is going to be very, very windy all day Saturday night into Sunday morning. If there's any good news, it is going to cool us down. But all in all, we don't need the wind right now. In fact, let's start out with a little giant fire. The big story there is they have put just a whole bunch of new personnel on it. The firefighting resources are stretched thin everywhere. On Wednesday, they had about 700 personnel on hand. Now they got about 900, even more than 900 fighting the little giant fire. It's still about 25,000 acres, still 0% containment, as I mentioned already. They send the helicopters up to fly in the afternoons and in the evenings or whenever they can, but because of the smoke, they can't really see anything. Late in the afternoon when the smoke clears, and again, the smoke has no place to go, then they can actually drop what they need to drop to basically just in front of the front part of the fire, just to wet down stuff to keep the fires from, well, cooling it down. Anyway, the fire is burning downhill along a lot of ridges and hollers on the east side of the fire. It's roughly following the edge of the Minnow Ridge fire. That was from what was that, about 4 years ago. And it's also burning down towards the Aniat River. It's now in the area of the Wolverine fire footprint. That was from 2015. Again, today is a critical day. It's still burning in heavy brush and heavy timber, and there's the number one concern always is structure protection. To our knowledge, nobody has been injured in the little giant fire. Of course, the really big fire is the Kaiser Canyon fire. That sucker is almost 130,000 acres. They have over 1,000 personnel fighting that fire. They saved the town of Nespelem, and that is still a huge concern there. And they're fighting rather aggressively to the north as much as they can. Now again, the wind tomorrow, strong wind blowing from west to east. West to east is going to be the direction of the wind. So on the west edge of the fire, it's going to start blowing into itself a little bit in areas already burned. But on the east side of the fire, that's going to be a main priority. And again, they're going to do whatever they can to drop retardants and water when they can see where the fire is. If these things get out of control, of course, over the weekend, and we hope that they don't, we'll try and keep you in the loop here. And another fire, much smaller in scale, nearly threatened a home, but they got a hold of it. This happened yesterday afternoon about 14 miles southwest of Chelan County Fire District number 7, where the agency that responded to the fire. This is the 300 block of Stamen Flats Road at about 1:30 yesterday afternoon. Brandon Asher was the fire chief there. He said an orchard was able to trap the fire from spreading up the hillside because it's an orchard. It slowed it down, and it also kept the structure from being damaged. The fire, about 3 acres, no injuries, no damage reported. The cause of the fire, they do not know. East Wenatchee police say a local church handled an attempted scam the right way by reporting a suspicious email posing as a local pastor to law enforcement. Nathan Eshelman filed this report.
Scam emails and scam phone calls have been a problem for the USA and North Central Washington over the past couple years. Right here behind me at the New Life Center Church, they have had this specific problem with emails being sent out to the public claiming to be the church. The church says that it is not them and the public should be aware of the scam. In the middle of July, the New Life Center Church in East Wenatchee reported a scam. It was reported that someone was using Pastor Ben Rhodes' likeness and name within an email to try to ask for money from the public. The address presented on the email was incorrect from the one on the church's website, which had the public catch on pretty quickly. No money was lost to the scam from the public or the church itself, but they are still an ongoing issue and threat to the NCW. East Wenatchee Police Department Chief Rick Johnson spoke with me about the risk of scams and how the public can go about avoiding them.
They're not legitimate. There's no agency, federal or otherwise, that I know of that would ask for money to avoid a warrant. And that's generally the law enforcement one. Recently, we had an individual with an incident with a local church where they were impersonating a pastor from that church, asking for money through email, 100% a scam. They'll have an email a lot of times that is similar to the church email or a government email, but it's just different enough that you can identify it as a scam with a little bit of research. If you don't recognize a phone number that's calling you, whether potential spam or not, we recommend not answering the call. A lot of our vulnerable adults, we give them the information of don't answer phone calls you don't recognize. And two, your bank will never call you and ask for identifying information about you and a payment of any kind or a password or a PIN. Those are not normal calls. If it seems suspicious, it is suspicious. Report it to police. Talk to other people about it and say, hey, I'm dealing with this. Have you heard this? It's usually pretty easy to identify it's a scam once you start talking it out.
That'll do it here from East Wenatchee. Nathan Eshelman, NCWLIFE.
Thank you, Nathan. Every week, Wenatchee World editor Pete O'Kane does a little video to key to all the local veterans in our area, the latest information regarding veteran services and events. So here's this week's edition of Veteran Voices.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Veteran Voices. August is shaping up to be a busy month in the veteran community. As we've previously reported, on August 7th, it's Purple Heart Day. There are 2 ceremonies honoring Purple Heart recipients in Chelan County, one in Wenatchee and the other in Manson. So check out our website for more info on those. A few days later, on August 10th, the county commissioners for both Chelan and Douglas counties are going to be meeting to discuss the potential of merging both of their veteran service offices. Then August 14th is the inaugural Salute the Veterans Golf Tournament at the Rock Island Golf Course. And then a few days later, from August 19th to 20th, it's the Serving Those Who Serve Conference in Wenatchee. This is a big convention hosted by the Washington Department of Veteran Affairs to connect vets with resources and employers. Attendance is free, but you are asked to register online. And something you should know, or something you should consider rather, if you're a vet with a less than honorable discharge, the state VA defines veteran a little differently than its big brother, the federal VA, and offers a little more grace. So being considered a veteran by the state VA can actually open you up to different state programs and benefits. So if you're unsure about your status, it wouldn't hurt to check in with the state VA. So that's all I've got for this week. For the Wenatchee World, I'm Pete O'Kane.
Time for our weekly feature. We visit once a week with our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society to find out what dogs need to be bailed out in dog jail. It ain't their fault. Harvey and Picasa need a home. It's time for Pet of the Week.
Hi, my name is Ryan Boner. I'm the Community Programs Coordinator here at Wenatchee Humane Society. Yeah, they are some fun pups. They are sisters. I have Harvey right here, and I also have Picasa. Come here, sweetheart. They came to us about a month ago. They are about 7 months old, and a cool little fact is that they both actually tested positive for parvo, and we were actually able to treat them here. So they are now not sick and available for adoption. They're doing really good here. Harvey is really brave. We have Picasa here, who does tend to need to warm up with folks, but once she gets used to folks, she's just like any other pup. But they do really well with each other. They did come from a home with other dogs, so we do know that they should be able to play well with others. But yeah, being pups, they'd be a great starter for a new family or add to your dog pack. They're packed full of energy, so if you were looking to go outdoors, go for a hike, or just have the kids wrestle with them, they're going to be ready to go 24 hours a day. Folks are interested in meeting Picasa or Harvey either solo or together. Just come on down, ask to meet them. We'll bring you out into a yard just similar to like this, and you'll get some one-on-one time, see if they're a good fit. If you do have other dogs at home, you can always ask to do a dog-to-dog meet and greet. We can kind of get them together, see how that would go. And if it's something that works out for you and your lifestyle, then come on down and we'll get you where they need to go. You can do both together or solo. These pups do fine just by themselves, but they'll be fine, just as happy if they do have another playmate to go home with.
And core cards and collectibles right here in the big city, they're growing. In fact, they're going to open a second store, this one out in Cashmere. And once again, it's Nathan Eshelman with the story.
Right here behind me is Core Cards and Collectibles. It is an excellent shop if you need your trading card goods along with other collectibles and memorabilia to help you out with your collecting needs. Now they're going to be opening a second location next month in August in Cashmere.
It was a little bit of a mixture. I was working with one of the local card stores in town for a while, helping them kind of do organization stuff, just mostly like volunteering my time. And I had met Josh organically through mutual friends. We ended up playing Catan together, and come to find out he's a huge Magic the Gathering player. And he really wanted a spot in town to be able to go and play, and he felt that there was a player base that would kind of follow. So I was working with the other shop trying to get them into it. They decided it wasn't something that they wanted to get into, and through that, him and I were like, well, I like sports, you like Magic, maybe we can figure it out ourselves. A couple weeks later, I found out that Lewis, who I've known for a long time, was doing card shows with his son in the Yakima area. And I was like, oh, hey, I didn't know you were into this. Like, let's talk more about that. I'd like to start getting into this. Come to find out, he had it on his dream board to eventually be a store owner, and we just all got together probably a total of 4 times before we ended up looking at spaces. And then here we are just over 3 years later. Pokemon side, everybody probably knows my wife, mostly running that side. Her name's Hallie. She spends a lot of her time down here working with folks and figuring out what they're into and helping them collect on the Pokemon side of things. So one of the things that we felt Wenatchee was lacking was something that covered a majority of the bases. Obviously, we can't cover all genres. That would be a very time-consuming endeavor and probably pretty stressful financially, but we kind of looked at what we felt the Valley was lacking, and we're like, we know we can add our expertise and our passion in these areas to the Valley and kind of gives everybody a place to come where you can come as a family. You don't have to be like, all right, well, I'm into this, but you're not, so you guys just hang out in the car. Everybody can come in here, find something that they enjoy or something that they want to connect with and learn how to enjoy. And then it makes it more of like a family or a community-oriented experience. So the Cashmere location will function almost like a miniature version of this. It's about 1,100 square feet, so it's about a quarter of the size. I just tell everybody, just come in here with an open mindset. If you have questions, please ask. We try to be as attentive and helpful as possible. We want to make sure that you're getting as much information as you can so you can make informed decisions on what you're buying and what you're getting into. If you ask us what you think is a smart investment, we'll kind of tell you like, hey, probably not the best time to buy all your like Hall of Fame level baseball superstars because everybody's talking about them, you should be buying the Seahawks right now because the season hasn't quite geared up. Training camp did start, but we'll always try to give you guys the best advice as possible on what you should or should stay away from.
That'll do it here from Wenatchee. Reporting for NCWLIFE, Nathan Eshelman.
And that is what's happening on this Friday, the last day of the month. August is tomorrow. Holy cow. The news tonight at 5 o'clock, then again at 5:30, then again at 6 o'clock, then again at 6:30, and then forever and ever ad infinitum forever. As long as the internet exists, the news will exist because we have a YouTube page. So you can also check it out by going to our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock. And if you got a news tip, we have an email address, news@ncwlife.com. Pretty lousy road trip from the Mariners wrapped up yesterday with a pretty lousy game from the Mariners. Don't take my word for it. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
There's something about this time of year. Longer days, open windows, more time spent at home with the people who matter most. For generations, Boswell's Home Furnishings has helped families create spaces that feel warm, welcoming, and lived in. After 100 years serving our beautiful valley, Boswell's commitment remains the same. Quality furnishings, personal service, and gratitude for the community that made it all possible. Boswell's Home Furnishings. It's closer than you think.
How are things going with your parenting plan?
Amanda and I decided to do mediation with the Colombian Basin Dispute Resolution Center. We really wanted to avoid the costly attorney fees.
I didn't even know mediation was an option.
Yeah, they even train people to become mediators. They did such a good job, I'm actually considering taking the training myself.
I'm so happy for you guys. When parents work together, it seems everyone is happier.
Their mediators really listen to your wants and needs. I'm really happy with the outcome. Coming, buddy.
Three minutes after the hour, Dalton Rushing hit a 3-run home run. He didn't play for us. Teoscar Hernandez, he used to play for us. He doesn't anymore. He hit a home run. And the Dodgers beat the Mariners. 6-2 was the final. The Mariners are now 23-33 on the road this year. And check this out. The Mariners have not won a series on the road since the end of May.
Now Betts gets the job done. All the way to the wall in left field. Edmondson, Pages being waved around. A 2-run double for Mookie. They kick things off on this Thursday.
Wu was feeling it with that slider, more the sinker sweeper. Got that first swing and strike against Mookie on a slider. He said, you know what, I'm going to give it another shot. I'm too smart.
Against Wu this year. And Rushing absolutely tees off into the Mariner bullpen. Now a dozen for Dalton, and the Dodgers lead it 5-0.
Rushing gets a slider down and in, and he does not miss. Really starting to enjoy this playing every day and not getting a day off here and there.
Smoked gap left center field to Rosarena. Mariners are on the board. Randy into second base with a ribby double.
Cole Young hit a great pitcher's pitch for a triple into that right center field gap. And a Rosarena gets a little lame duck up in the zone as he rips this one into left center field. A little hanging slider right down the middle. Randy jumping on that first pitch to drive in Cole Young from second base.
Off the plate, a bases loaded walk. He does not give in to him. Tried to get him to chase a splitter. 5-2 Dodgers. Dave Roberts going to his bullpen. The Mariners making it very interesting here in the 6th inning. They've knocked Sasaki out.
In the air, right center field. Teo drops the bat. Did he get enough? It's gone. Teo gets a run right back with his 9th of the year. Make it 6-2 Dodgers.
Pretty impressive by Teo. That's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball out of the zone and up, and he gets on top of that thing. But just the ability to get to that pitch.
First home run since the 3rd of July for Teoscar Hernandez. That's a win for LA. They take the finale and the series from the Mariners. 4 consecutive series wins out of the All-Star break.
It's just been pure Dodger dominance. Out on the mound, the plate, defensively they've made some plays.
Bryce Miller scheduled to pitch tonight. Mariners are back in town. Thank goodness they got the Twins for a 3-game weekend series. First pitch tonight on King. You can watch if you have King. Is at 7:10. Everybody in the American League West who played lost yesterday, so thanks to the Rays, they beat the Rangers. And, well, first of all, the Astros didn't play, so right now the Astros are a half game behind the Rangers, who lost to the Rays, and the Mariners now fall to 2.5 back of the race by losing to the Dodgers. Apple Sox scored a lot early, and then they didn't have to really worry much after that. They scored all their runs in the first 3 innings, and they rolled to a 9-3 victory over Kelowna. The Falcons have now lost 7 in a row. And then the last road trip is underway tonight. They'll take on Kamloops tonight, Saturday and Sunday. They host Victoria on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then it is playoff time. Go Apple Sox. And here is your West Coast League scoreboard from yesterday. Watch out, Bellingham. Bellingham's been playing some very good baseball. It'll be really good to see the Bells and the Apple Sox meet up again in the playoffs. They are good rivals. Yeah, the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval on Saturday. Drive fast, turn left, the Minivan Mayhem. I have no idea what that is. I may have to show up and check it out. The Johnson Electric Bump to Pass. That's exactly what it sounds like. You got to bump the car in front of it with your bumper before you can pass it. Dixie Heating Thunder Cars, the Plum Perfect Road Runners, the B&T Towing Youth Road Runners, Mini Stock Invitational. Gates open at 4:30. Racing about 6. WVSO.com. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. If you want to celebrate Uncommon Musical Instrument Day today, you may do so. National Mutt Day. That's actually twice a year. National Talk in an Elevator Day. No, today it's the superfood that is the avocado. It is National Avocado Day today. It is good for you. It's got omega-3 fatty acids, which are really good for you. It's got more protein than bananas do. It's got fiber, all kinds of good stuff for you. Avocados started naturally in Central and South America, and then it spread to the Caribbean. And then they planted them in Florida in the 1830s. And hey, that worked out pretty good. And then they were shipped over to the tropical regions of Asia, and they grew like crazy. California grows avocados like you wouldn't believe. Avocados are still fairly inexpensive, all things considered. Over the last 25 years, sales of avocados over the last 25 years have quadrupled. I don't know why. The avocado is not a vegetable, by the way. It's a fruit. I did not know that. And for some people, eating a healthy supply of avocados will lower your cholesterol. But keep the peels, the actual outer shell of the avocado, away from your dogs and cats. It will kill them. The avocado shell is toxic to dogs and cats, and it could kill them pretty quickly. Outside of that, enjoy an avocado. 29 minutes after the hour today in history, we're heading to the moon. For both of our events today, there is the lunar rover. Isn't that cool? On the moon. It was the Apollo 15 crew, the astronauts who became the first to ride in a lunar rover. It's still there, of course. You can't take it back, but they also got to give them a chance to explore a lot more real estate than they used to. That looks like it would be fun. Driving one of those around in zero gravity was probably a really, really cool time. That was on this date, 1971. And then on this date, 1999, right back to the moon we go. That is the Lunar Prospector, which was intentionally crashed at high speed into the surface of the moon. They did it on purpose because they wanted to see if there was any water on the moon, and if there was, it would be under the surface, so they wanted to get as deep down as they could to find frozen water on the moon's surface. That is also still there, which is why it brings me to this, and I've mentioned this before. There has been talk about sending man back to the moon. I don't know why. We know all there is to know about it. I don't know. But if we ever send men back to the moon, have them bring a dumpster, because that thing is still there, and that lunar rover is still there. In fact, there's 3 lunar rovers still on the moon. There's 211 tons of man-made junk on the moon still. 5 Saturn V rockets, dozens of sub-satellites, all 10 of the Apollo Ascent modules, they're still up there. Can't take them back with you. Orbiters that either crash on purpose, like that one, or accidentally. There's hammers, there's wrenches, there's tools, there's bags of you don't want to know. There are flags, there are plaques, there's a Bible, and 2 golf balls that Alan Shepard hit during his moonwalk on Apollo 14. So let's go back to the moon, and let's bring a dumpster and clean up the mess. 1 birthday. J.K. Rowling has done pretty good for herself. She is 61. She is the richest author of all time. She has made more money than anybody who writes books for a living. And now, of course, the Harry Potter series is a television and comic books. It's a whole franchise. And now she's been spending most of her free time giving her money away. J.K. Rowling is 61 years old today. I've never been into the Harry Potter thing. I'm a nonfiction guy almost exclusively. Occasionally, I'll read a novel or something like that. I never did really. But anything that gets kids to read, I'm 100% for that. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. We always talk about the great pros at Alpine Air. We've had the dirty air. It's not a bad idea every once in a while to have Alpine Air come out and see just exactly how dirty your HVAC system is getting. How are those filters doing? Are they keeping the air inside of your home clean? If you think maybe not, give Alpine Air a call. They'll help you out. Going to take a break, and then the very first guest on the very first edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley a little over 10 years ago was David Charles Herald, a broadcasting legend, and he will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Affordable power is the heart of what we do as your public utility. But we don't stop at offering some of the lowest rates in the nation. Through local partnerships, discount and assistance programs, our staff works with residents every day to keep the power on. And now, we're offering 25% bill discounts for customers who need it most. To see if you qualify, visit chelanpud.org/discounts.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Evergreen Home Loans.
Hot August Nights at the Numerica Performing Arts Center returns with Jamie Donegan's presentation of the musical 1776. 1776 tells the satirical story of the Second Continental Congress and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The show runs July 31st, August 1st, August 5th through the 8th, and August 12th through the 15th.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I am very vocal and very open about my opposition to that man in the White House for justifiable reasons. As such, I have been routinely accused of being full of hate, being deranged, and being a liberal Democrat, none of which is accurate. This criticism reached a new level after the incident at the press correspondence dinner when one of my detractors blamed me and my ilk for that wacko's act of violence. Now, this attitude is an indication of how the derangement caused by that man affects some of his MAGA-ite followers. As I said to this particular detractor, his assuming that since I oppose the man, I'm responsible for or in approval of this attempted attack is deplorable. So grow up. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for spring and summer of 2026. Book now for your free consultation to lock in your savings of a free heat pump, an $11,000 value. Let the experts at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your backyard into a vacation paradise with an industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa. Give us a call today.
Whether you're building from the ground up or transforming your space with a custom remodel, One Way Construction is your trusted partner in creating a home that's uniquely yours. Your dream home is just a call away. Schedule your free consultation and let's build something amazing together.
Chelan PUD works hard year-round to reduce fire risk and provide dependable service for our customers. But when extreme fire weather is forecasted, we may resort to a public safety power shutoff, turning off power to a specific area in order to prevent fire. In this rare event, we'll keep you informed before, during, and after the shutoff. To stay prepared and check if you're in a PSPS zone, visit chelanpud.org/PSPS.
It seems appropriate that the very first guest on the very first edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley was almost 10 years ago to this day. 10 years ago.
Is that possible?
It is, Dave. On July 26th, 2016,
Really?
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley went on the air live from our studios, and you were my very first guest. It seems appropriate that we come full circle.
Well, thank you for inviting me. 10 years, a lot has happened in the broadcast world. And
in 50 years of your career.
50 years. In fact, this is a Dave in the Morning 50th anniversary mug that Mr. Dan got.
This is a collector's item, by
It
the
is a
way.
collector's item.
Yeah.
Give me 1050. Okay. Yeah, all right.
50 years. When you moved here to little old Winnetachee Town, USA in 1976, did you think, I'll be here for 50 years, working across stations and formats and ownership groups.
No. You know, what's really interesting is, as a lot of people don't know, that there's been a lot of changes in corporate ownership, even here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're the last remaining independent broadcaster with Kent Phillips and me and Dave Bauer, the other partner, but everybody else has just got gobbled up, which is fine. I think they do good radio, but I think we have a little sort of a local advantage to try to keep. That's been part of our success, from a Pay It Forward program to acts of kindness that we do.
Well, you're talking to the guy who signs both sides of the check, and that's
Yeah.
and from a business standpoint, from a client standpoint, they like that.
Yeah.
They can pick up the phone and they know they're talking to somebody from Resort Radio LLC who's in charge.
They don't have to call Denver or Los Angeles or anything.
So,
yeah.
Nothing against Denver or Los Angeles. 50 years. So you moved here and you were the old days, the old Don Bonnier days, and those. I miss Don. I was thinking about him the other day.
Great guy.
And here it is, 50 years later.
We bugged him, Don Bonnier, who was the first morning guy on KMEL that turned into KLB3 that Jim Corcoran bought years ago. We used to bug him when he was 35 years. We threw a big party for Don Bonnier at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Do you remember who the group was? It was Merrily, Rush, and the Turnabouts.
Yeah, and the Turnabouts, yep. They played Angel in the morning.
About 10 minutes into the show, the lights went out. And Don Bonnier, being the guy he is, never missed a beat, just like you. Just kept going on. Said, well, lit a candle.
I thought for sure he was going to leave, is what I thought.
Yeah.
Nobody will notice him.
Yeah, he was a great broadcaster, so we're going to miss him.
50 years means you're doing something right, obviously. First of all, people just like you. They've always liked you. I've never heard anybody say a bad word about David Charles Herald ever.
We're in this whole new digital AI environment. You know, if someone's like under 40, and this is sad for me to say, they probably are not listening to a radio station. They're listening to their cell phone. That's their personal music device. That's their life. So fortunately, in our format, being 70s, 80s, and 90s, I'll throw some 60s in for you. Fortunately,
little Duke Ellington every once in a while.
In our format, those people are still listening to radio because they're over 40. Our demo's probably 35 to 64-year-olds and longer. But remember, Elvis. I went to the Elvis Festival in Penticton. You would have loved it. You got to go with me. And you got to realize Elvis. His hits were in the late 50s, 60s. So my wife and I went to the Elvis Penticton, festival, and you look across the audience. You know how old they are? 75 to 80, Dan. Yeah. There's hope for you, young man. There's hope for you.
You mentioned an entire generation, now almost 2 generations, have come of age that never listened to the radio. I mean, ever. They just didn't. It was never, maybe mom or dad driving into soccer practice or school would have the radio on in their car, but from just finding out what the latest hits are and what songs that they like and everything, they don't do the radio anymore. And that's sad in a way.
Everything's
because they're missing out.
Everything's on their personal device.
Yeah. And yet you're still here.
I'm still here. Yeah, still alive.
When Sunny FM launched all those years ago, it's a long, sordid story.
Yeah.
Check out Randy's podcast he did with Dave a couple of years ago. You'll get the inside stuff on that.
Yeah.
You had to pick a format to set it apart from everybody else because the Wenatchee radio market is well served. If you like country, you got 3 stations. If you like news talk, classic rock, Spanish, you name it, every format is covered here, and you had to figure out what's going to be the niche for Sunny FM when we launched to set us aside.
That was 2007. Cherry Creek had just purchased us. They said, hey, you're making too much money, you're out of here. It's okay. And we had dealt with Fisher Broadcasting, not to get involved with all these corporate people, but Fisher was very great to us and Canton, our partners, and a lot. And we had negotiated a deal to put on a greatest hits format that Fisher wanted to do. And then they got, unfortunately, purchased by Cherry Creek, and Cherry Creek chose not to do that format with Fisher and changed all their formats. And so our research said, hey, we had the Don Bonnier days, and now let's bring back the music that people grew up with. And no one else has really encroached upon that format. So it's been very successful for us.
Fisher sold to Cherry Creek. That was the 5-station group on Wenatchee Avenue in November of 2026. So they swooped in and bought where I was working.
Yes.
West Coast Broadcasting, KPQ, AM and FM. That deal was consummated in November of 2007, a year later. And just like that, Cherry Creek Radio all of a sudden had like 8 radio stations when they had none in about a year and a half. They came in and just rewrote Wenatchee Radio in one fell swoop. And in many respects, probably not a most positive thing.
Yeah, they've had their challenges over there, but
and now it's Town Square Media.
Now it's Town Square Media, and same with KKRV, the country station.
Right.
ESP, they've gone through 2 or 3 corporate changes.
And a bankruptcy or 2 along the way. You know, that's what happens. So I have to ask you, and I've been meaning to ask you, how did you land Linda? How did that happen? Because
my wife?
That's about the best damn thing you've ever done.
My wife?
Yeah. I've always wanted to find out how that happened because...
Well, Jim Corcoran introduced me to him when we were at Little Pedro's, which is now the top Thai restaurant.
Now we're really dating ourselves.
I know. And I met her in 1979, and we're going on our 45th year in marriage, so yeah.
And you're a power couple. And Dave and Linda are involved in everything. Linda's been on the Wenatchee City Council since it's been a city council, I believe. You've done Apple Blossom. You've done every service club you can think of. I think I once bought a Christmas tree from you. So it's not like you're here, but
Festival of Trees.
Festival of Trees. You've been vested in the Wenatchee Valley, in the community. You're not.
Yeah.
This is your home. These are your roots, and you've worked hard to make this place a better place to live.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fun career, and I wouldn't do anything else. You know the story. When I was 9 years old, I got this little telescope thing that you could get radio stations on. My dad would pound on the door and go, "You still listening to that damn thing?" "Oh no, Dad, I'm fine. I'm not." And I mean, I got hooked. I think you got hooked early in that age as well. And
yeah, absolutely.
Here we are.
I mean, I love listening to music. I figure, let's get a job where I can just play music for a living and not have to work real hard too.
So, do you regret selling all those albums when you had the music store?
I had a 5-year people remember this. I had a 5-year hiatus from broadcasting from 90 to 95 when I had the record store. Within months, Hastings and Walmart opened, and I still hung on for a year. That was in the spring of '94 when they opened really right next to each other.
And now the interesting stage, vinyl went away.
Yeah, and now
vinyl has completely come back because, as you know, us broadcast people, there's the warmth of the vinyl, of the analog. I mean, you take a record and you play it, and you play the same thing on digital. I don't care what sort of broadcast equipment you have. That's going to have a warmer sound, the vinyl, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have a couple records.
Yeah, you do.
At home. That, more than anything, is in this industry, you're talking about radio specifically, but television as well. Automation has changed everything. When you started, when the station was on the air, somebody was there.
Yeah.
24/7,
We had 2 turntables.
Cart machines.
We had cart machines.
A paper log.
Paper log. You know, in the 90s when we bought Jim Corcoran's KW3 AM and FM, all the music, right when we switched to Don Bernier in 1990 and brought back Don, all the music were on cart machines. It was KVI's music library that Shannon Sweat, the GM, gave us. And I mean, you know, the song would come to an end and the cart would just sit there and flash, indicating you had 5 seconds, you know, before you had to hit the next cart. And of course, you got 2 turntables.
Yeah.
You didn't have a computer monitor or a hard drive or MP3s. Or, we didn't have the internet.
You can store 12,000 songs on something about that big.
In that machine, there's 2,500 songs in that machine over there.
Yeah. And yet still you are. You've adjusted with every change that's come.
I have.
So
I drive program directors crazy because I'm old school.
There's a lot of Dave Herald stories. Many of them are even true.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Dave and I go back all the way, well, a long time anyway. We've had a lot of fun together over the years. What's next for Dave? And is there going to be a 75-year mug coming up in 25 years? Or
yeah, I don't know. Everybody asks me what my exit strategy is, and you know, as long as you're having fun. I know it's cliche, but I think I'll roll for a few more years, and I'd like to do some traveling with my wife, but I'd like to still stay in the industry somehow. But You never know. There's always things happening.
We would be remiss, and I thought about this, about this thing, this 50th anniversary mug. We talked about Don Vermeer. We lost, of course, Don a number of years ago. I was starting to think, and then I said, Don Moody, Danny Solom, my great friend, and
Dan Solom,
broadcast legend, Ernie Rodriguez, John Ross,
Jerry Michaels.
We've lost. You and I worked with all of those folks at one time or another. Great broadcasting. We've lost a lot of good people in this industry, in this valley over the years.
Fortunately, we got a lot of tapes.
Yeah.
I say tapes out, but we've got recordings of those people, and we really do miss those people. We do. They made the industry. So.
They did. Yeah. But see, we're still thinking about them.
Yeah.
After all these years. David, I'll let you have the final word. What's next for Dave Herald for Resort Radio LLC? You got the Apple Sox. You're humming right along.
We got the Apple Sox. We have the Washington State University Cougars exclusively in North Central Washington now. And we may have some other plans that we can't talk about coming up. You never know.
Okay. Just keep tuning in. And by the way,
thank you, buddy.
Anytime. Sunny FM is everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere. They're in the valley. They're up to Medhow. You can't miss it.
As we say, just hit scan. We'll be there.
That's right. David Charles Herald, my very first guest on my very first show. We have come full circle. Say hi to Linda for me.
I will do that.
And I'll see you around.
You will.
I will.
We'll do that breakfast we haven't done in 50 years.
Dave and I used to have breakfast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Bob's.
That's right.
With Lindsay as our waitress.
That's right.
So,
all right.
She's doing great too.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
She's at the Buzz Inn in Wenatchee now.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Cool.
Okay. Great.
Broadcasting legend Dave Herald, whose impact on the local broadcasting industry is so immeasurable, nobody's even bothered to try and measure it. Happy listening, my friend.
Thank you.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Summer is here, and Collins Fashions has a great selection of lightweight tops, capri sundresses to keep you cool. So many events and parties in this summer, and we have special occasion dress wear for you. Fall fashions will be arriving soon from French Dressing, Carly B, Nick and Zoe, Joseph Ribkoff, Clara Sun Wu, Habitat and Cut. New Brighton jewelry and handbags arrive every week, and Brighton has beautiful gifts for the special people in your life. Personal service, great selection at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
That's a cool shot from Jump Off Ridge, and that indicates that we're still under the influence of a ridge of high pressure. It's pretty strong, but it's not strong enough to hold off what's coming our way. So you can see exactly where the level of the smoke is. Of course, here in the Wenatchee Valley, it's from the Little Giant fire. That's a thank you very much, Mac. Air quality actually isn't too bad, even in Antioch, which is getting the brunt of this smoke. Again, there is no wind at all, either at the surface or at the upper level. So the smoke goes about as high as it can, which is right there, and then it kind of just stays there and settles down, but it's making it a bit of an issue for aerial firefighting. The helicopters and the planes can't drop the water and the retardants if they can't see the fire. But today is a very critical day for those folks, because there's big changes coming. Let's show you to this one more time. If you live in the tan-colored area, get ready. Fire weather watch is all day tomorrow and all night tomorrow night. That upper level ridge is going to get smashed by a rather strong, and I mean a strong, cold front. We don't usually see these this time of the year, and the surface winds and the upper level winds are going to be very, very strong. Humidity, relative humidity, is going to be lower than a gopher's basement. Significantly cooler temperatures, but here is your timeline for the wind. It'll be by sunrise tomorrow, sunrise on Saturday, about 5:30. The wind will be blowing west to east, and this wind will be blowing from west through the Cascade Gaps to the east at 20 miles an hour at sunrise tomorrow. By the time we get to noon, sustained winds in the valley will be right around 30 miles an hour. And at the peak of the wind event, which is going to be 4 o'clock to about 9 o'clock, we're talking about gusts near 50 miles an hour. Gradually, the wind will be decreasing as we get through Sunday, and by Sunday late afternoon the wind will be gone. But this is a cold front, so look at the temperature difference between today and tomorrow and on into Sunday, and then guess what? We warm right back up again as August becomes August. Somebody brought me a whoopee cushion. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's green, so it kind of got, it's grayed out there. Somebody got me a whoopee cushion, and I appreciate that. It's going to find a good home, the whoopee cushion will. And there's a reason, because the moment has come for us to say goodbye. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley ceases at the end of the broadcast day today, and my 11 and a half years here at the TV station also comes to an end as I go off on indefinite sabbatical. I did the math, and one of the reasons I wanted Dave Herald, David Charles Herald, to be my last guest on the last edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, because he was my very first guest on the very first edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. That was on Monday, July 26th, 2016. So this show was on the air for 10 years and 1 week. I did the math. It's not an exact number because it's really unattainable, but I figured out, give or take about a dozen, that I've done about 2,500 editions of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley over 10 years. That's a lot of television. Of course, before that, it was in radio from the time I was about 20 up until I did my 5-year hiatus from broadcasting with a record store, and then I got back into broadcasting. All of it in radio, which is a different relationship between the radio personality and the audience, because we can't see you and you can't see us. And one of the things I learned when we launched our little station that could, brief history, Localtel bought the little tiny TV station, a little low-powered TV station that nobody watched, KWCC, Wenatchee Community Channel. Localtel bought it. They had to decide whether they were just going to keep it what it was, just kind of sitting there as a placeholder, or can we make a local television station work? They tried one. If you lived here long enough, you know, back in the mid-'80s, there was KCWT, an actual over-the-air broadcast station, Central Washington Television. They made it about 2.5 years, but the market couldn't handle it at that time. So I came on board, and we got a little better, and we got a little better, and we got smart. We made all of our mistakes, but nobody was watching. And then we rebranded ourselves as the NCWLIFE channel. We brought in more people, talented people, a mixture of old broadcast vets and younger people, and by golly, we made a name for ourselves, and all of a sudden, instead of radio, I'm on television, and that whole relationship changed entirely, because you now get to see me, but I still don't get to see you. And I was trying to figure out I was trying to find one word to describe how that works in this line of work, because not a lot of people get to do what I do for a living. There is no one word, so I put together 2 words, intimate remoteness. Intimate, we get to visit each other in our living rooms or whatever each morning, but a certain remoteness, because I'm here and you're there. That has now, of course, changed with social media and all that stuff. So it's something I had to get used to. Got recognized a lot. Very much enjoyed the vast majority of the interactions with you folks when I was out and about. Very kind, very warm. I enjoyed a lot of, and even some days where I really wasn't much for being sociable, I did it anyway. There were some criticisms along the way, not a lot. I took them in stride, and a lot of those criticisms, in fact, had merit. and I try to take those to heart. This was by no means an individual effort. I can't stress this enough. A great team now, and a great team. Some of them have come and gone. Others have moved on to other things. But I've always enjoyed working with my coworkers and my fellow broadcasters. It was all a team effort. 8 producers on this show over 10 years. They all made me look pretty good. And for that, I thank you. I thank you for carving out a little time to spend with me. Again, I am on indefinite sabbatical, and this show concludes right now. Take care. Bye-bye.